jobbers are back!
Jesus.
After a week of nothing and nothing because we're lazy.
No, we're busy. I'm busy. You're lazy.
We are back. I'm joined by the Blue Meanie. Rash, obviously, it's late for him. He has to run home because he's a little baby. He's not here this week. Oh, someone's missing. You can see him coming from the corner there. It's Mr. Main Eventer, Mr. K Quick. How are you?
I was looking for the sign, but
You're
I
right,
can't
Booker.
find it.
I think we left it in the other room, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's probably somewhere there.
That's what jobbers are for, innit? We're useless.
I'm not useless.
Rubbish.
No, I'm not.
Anyway, I just wanted to get a quick reaction of what we think of Wrestlemania
It's gonna be rubbish.
so far.
It might not be rubbish, but the card's rubbish. The
Why?
card is so much worse than it should
But the
be.
thing is that there's no like I feel like there's no hype for it. It's like, it doesn't feel like WrestleMania.
It doesn't, does it?
It's like there's no hype for it, but then they've put Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in it to get hype, and it's just not hype.
No,
That's
no
like the
one
most
cares.
hype match you could put in.
Will that match be good?
I think it may be good, and it may be very.
And it's the main
embarrassing for the
event as
company.
well. It's the main event.
It won't
And
be- it won't
really,
be
is
good.
there a match? There's only one match that I'm actually looking forward to, and that's Triple H versus Seth Rollins.
Not Owens Jericho?
Not even really.
I'm not really looking forward to
Really?
that. I'm not. I'm kind of bored of that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
They turned too early, I think. Like they
Right.
could have made it last little bit more.
And
But
then-
then here's the thing: Lesnar Goldberg won't get booed.
There's a guy was getting booed. It's
No,
the
it
main
won't-
event.
It won't get booed.
It's the main event.
It won't get booed.
It's the main event.
All
Main
the,
event.
all the booing is going to be taken up by when Roman Reigns beats the Undertaker.
Oh, you're calling that?
Oh no, Undertaker has to win. If Undertaker,
I'm telling you now, it's going to happen.
when we do our prediction,
Just quickly.
go on.
Sorry. Reigns will lose this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Cena's going to beat him next year and make him retire.
Reigns has to lose this year. WWE are stupid. WWE are stupid if they think that Reigns should beat the Undertaker.
I 100% agree with that.
This is the thing. WWE will make Reigns.
That's very uncomfortable.
WWE will make Reigns beat anyone. But if they truly, honestly think that Reigns beating the Undertaker is going to help him in any way, shape, or form, they could not be further from the truth. The best way to If anything, him having a difficult, hard-fought loss against the Undertaker would do more for his credibility among wrestling fans than beating the Undertaker would. And ultimately, that's what their goal needs to be right now. So if they do anything but the Undertaker winning, they are stupid.
I can't imagine them
Stupid.
being that dumb though.
I can,
I can't.
I
imagine
really
them being
can.
that dumb.
but
I can't imagine.
I
them
think
being
everyone.
that dumb.
I think everyone expects Reigns to win, but I think they're probably going to have him lose. But
No, he will lose.
he has to. It's
He
the
will.
Undertaker.
It's just, and the Undertaker as well. I'm just fed up with him now.
I've been fed up with him for years.
He's just, he's Mr. SmackDown. He's on Raw every week now.
My problem is the thing.
It's
Undertaker,
just,
right?
and then they made him look. And then Roman
Undertaker,
Reigns
I
beat
love.
Braun Strowman. It still
I
upsets me.
have an eternal love for the Undertaker. I really do. But it's boring. I've been bored with him for a few years. And it's harsh to say because his matches are still good, despite how old he is. His matches are still really good. Like you look at those.
Are they?
Yeah.
No, they're
No, like
at
Royal Rumble
WrestleMania.
was
He
poor.
ups it, doesn't he?
Yeah, but then even that Hell in a Cell against Brock Lesnar.
That was
was
Hell in a
even,
Cell against Shane.
no. I'm talking about the one. You know, he had the match against Brock.
Oh,
And
yeah,
even then it was dodgy, but then they had these amazing bits in it where like they ripped up the floor of the thing and then he tombstoned him onto it, and then like they had the bit where Undertaker had Brock in the camel club in the triangle, and then he did the middle finger in that. Like that stuff's like really good. Even though his matches are still good, he's too old and it's just boring. Like his entrance is boring. Honestly, this isn't even a joke. If a bong happens and he's actually gonna walk, I legitimately fast forward. It takes too long. It's just him. It's just.
I love his entrance.
No, I love it, but ultimately, at this stage in my life, it's just an old man walking in the dark for a bit. It's so long. I love it. I really do, and I love him. But like,
Also,
It's fading. You're supposed to leave him wanting more. That's what Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels
yeah.
did the best.
yeah.
And Undertaker just let it drag.
Give him-
yeah.
give him a motorbike, if not for his gimmick, just so he can get to the ring a bit quicker.
I do think they should bring back the Dead Man, rolling one.
I'd like to see it
Dead
one more
Man
time,
Inc.
but I think it kind of almost tarnishes.
And his hair's just getting terrible. He's just receding.
Yeah,
oh my god, do you remember
He's
Sting?
like
He needs
It's
to
like
band
Sting
that
at
up.
Mania. Do you remember Sting at Mania? against Triple H, and then like he came out and it was like his hair was normal, and by the end of it, it was just like woof, when it was like all bald, and it was
I was like, oh my god, wow, that's just.
He did look mad. At
It's
him.
just.
The hair all over the head,
And
over the gap.
What's even worse as well is right.
What happened to Triple H's leg? And
Yeah. And what is making it worse as well is they're pretty much telling you who's going to win as well. These dirt sheets are coming out and all of that.
Yeah, so what, you have a problem with this, right?
I do have a problem with this, right? It's spoiling wrestling, isn't it?
So you think specifically online websites who sort of know and release the results beforehand,
I think
or the plans beforehand, ruins it. That's
your
opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just establishing your opinion.
Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just establishing your opinion.
Yes.
Luke, how do you feel about
Yeah, it's like don't
Because
tell us that.
no offense
Don't
to you,
tell us
no
that
offense
stuff.
to you, you're a guy that won't watch it, wrestling, and you would read the spoilers, wouldn't you?
But I do watch.
You don't though.
I try to.
You don't watch it. Yeah,
I do.
closer.
I try to.
You
I
don't
try
watch it
to.
though, do you?
No, but I try.
You don't watch wrestling at
I
all.
would say this.
I do
right?
watch wrestling. I just
On
don't watch.
Instagram.
I don't watch the Raw. Like I don't watch Raw and SmackDown.
Which is fair because they're mostly quite bad.
I
But
watch
like
SmackDown's
SmackDown's alright. But I don't know. Like, does it ruin it to a point? Yeah. And I'm the sort of person who like, if I'm going to watch a film,
I'm an
or
old
play a
I'm
game
old
or
guy,
whatever,
yeah.
or anything like that, if someone even tells me mild
think
things,
they
not
should
even like a
use-
spoiler, just like this person might be in it, I like lose
I
my shit.
actually
But
think.
I will say this. I think it's fine because ultimately WWE is so short-term booked and so like flippy at the end that you don't truly know who's going to win.
True.
And I think even if they weren't saying it, us as fans, like say specifically us and you lot at home, like are smart enough to know who's probably going to win and who won't and where it's going. Do you see what I'm saying?
But have you noticed recently? It's so predictable.
Yeah, it has been.
And they've been getting it all right. Not predictable. They've been revealing the results, and it's all right. Is there a reason for them to doing this? Is WWE giving these people?
Like you literally predicted the time that Raw was
Exactly.
going to win in because it was everywhere.
Are they? Is WWE giving them that?
Rash got all 8.
Are they giving these to these internet?
I don't think they
trolls,
are.
whatever
People inside there are, but they aren't themselves because they're not stupid.
But are they doing this on purpose? Then
This is
for
the thing.
WrestleMania, they're going to shock everything.
No, I don't think
You
so.
don't think so?
I think WWE is just that badly booked at the moment that it is so.
I don't know what's going on with the.
If
I don't
they
know why
did-
it's being booked. the
if
way
they
it
did
is.
do
It's
that-
starting to confuse me.
Yeah, if they did do that, I would like. All right, I understand. That was quite clever
Yeah.
for them to do that.
Yeah.
But you just know they're not going to do that, innit?
You know what? Like, remember back in the days when a rivalry would start between two wrestlers, and it, especially even in the title, like the title picture, and it would actually feel like, oh yeah, this. Oh, did you see what happened?
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, you know, almost like when you're playing 2K and in your universe,
Yeah.
and one person's lost, and now
Yeah.
the next person is number one contender. It feels
Yeah.
like that. It's like, oh, now you're.
It's like
number-
this.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
ranking.
no,
Yeah.
it's no, it's no like, it doesn't
There's no
feel like, it's
story.
no
It's
like
not entirely
organic, it's not
true, though.
organic anymore.
That's
It
not
doesn't feel
entirely
like,
true. Yeah.
oh, you buzzed me in the
I
locker
agree.
room, and now we're in a rivalry. It's
Yeah.
like, no. Oh yeah, now you're scheduled to play him. Like you've
That's
lost.
so,
now
that's
you're
so
It's
true.
really badly
That is
booked.
so true.
It's really badly booked and written. Like you look at it and you just go, oh, okay. Like Owens Jericho works as a feud because they were friends for so long. That friendship started really awkwardly, but then once it got going, it was like killer. And then the turn happened, and so that makes sense. That makes sense why they would face each other. But then you have other people, like you say, like back in the day, you used to have like people running into each other backstage. doing all this
Remember
stuff.
Undertaker and Batista's rivalry on SmackDown was one of my favorite rivalries of all time. It's like how that.
You're
came
weird,
up-
by the way.
Huh?
You're weird, by the way.
What? Did you not like that rivalry?
No.
But then this is what I'm saying. Right? We had all that, and then now it just seems almost
Or
preordained.
Shawn
to be
Michaels
in
and
the face.
Jericho,
Shawn Michaels,
This is what I'm saying.
or Matt Hardy and
But it's not
Jeff Hardy and CM Punk.
But it's not entirely true because Fastlane was one of the most unpredictable, and
Edge
the
of
Royal
Undertaker.
Rumble was one of the most unpredictable pay-per-views they've had in years.
No, but everyone
no
was,
one knew who was
everyone was
going.
saying Randy Orton's going to win.
No,
and
they
we
no,
was
no, no,
like,
they were
No,
saying-
they
they were
can't,
saying
they
they were
can't
saying-
do that. They're not
they-
going to tell us.
They were
yet.
saying that a couple of days before.
Like, I heard about a legitimate week before, or maybe
a week,
even longer. than that.
everyone says everyone a week before, but I'm saying like the rumors really started to pick up like a couple of days before. But I'm saying like going into that every single match was really. We sat in that room over there, the one who's just behind this wall, our usual studio, and we said this is one of the most unpredictable pay-per-views in years, and we didn't get the predictions nailed on because of it. Whereas the one after that obviously got 8 out of 8. And
Which
what's
was
the difference?
glorified Raw. That was.
Yeah, it was a Raw show, and then
Yeah.
and then Rash managed to get 8 out of 8 predictions correctly.
Well done,
Congratulations,
Rash.
Rash.
We
by
owe
the
you
way.
a pound.
But I don't know, I paid it. But
I haven't.
it's super obvious, and it's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Mm.
So like we can get, I feel like we get annoyed at the dirt sheets and the internet websites because of it. But ultimately, they're just doing their job.
Yeah, it's true
Like-
though, and
Like it's WWE's fault
And
for being so
also-
predictable.
we shouldn't go on there and read them.
I think
Well,
you know what?
post
Like,
them
I
because
know
they
it sounds like crazy, but me, like, if I was working there, I would try and make it like I would try and do it to tend the crowd in attendance.
Mm.
So like I always use this as an example. 2014 Royal Rumble, Batista and Roman Reigns were the last two people in the Royal Rumble match. And for a moment, I got out of my chair at like 4 o'clock in the morning and woke my family up with my screaming because I thought that they were going to give us a plot twist and have Roman win.
Mm.
Shit like that should happen.
Yeah.
Because you could see in the moment, it was like, oh, please do it, please.
Do you
Oh,
remember-
please,
not-
please.
Not obviously.
And then they were like, oh, no, yeah, Batista won.
Not
Of
obviously
course.
this Rumble.
Of course.
Not obviously this Rumble,
Mm.
but the one where Bray Wyatt was left, or the one where Triple H and Dean were left, and all of a sudden, obviously Triple H went on to win, but all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my god, they could have Dean win it.
Exactly.
They're really good at They're really good at getting.
But
the
then
last
that's what they
people
need
as
to
well.
do. They
But they
need
should be
to,
doing that
they
consistently.
should, they should be.
It shouldn't be. It
They
should.
should be like making you like take off your hat and think,
Yeah.
whoa, they actually did surprise us. Then I never
Yeah.
thought that was gonna happen. And you
Yeah.
can leave and be like, I'm so happy about that.
And it should,
Like-
and it shouldn't just be once every year at the end of the Rumble, which is what it always is. It should be consistently across stuff.
Exactly.
You should have people coming into it. Now, there's this guy, right? I don't know if either of you know Max Landis, who's a writer. He wrote Chronicle. He wrote American Ultra, a couple of other films.
Actually, yeah.
Writer, but he consulted on Raw for ages, right? Now, he's a guy who's controversial in his own right. I'm not going to talk about whatever, but he's a super big wrestling fan, and he consulted on Raw for ages, and he spoke about how they don't really listen to him. But one of the things he says, which rings so true, the best Raws are the ones where something happens which affects the entire show, and that stuff happens, right? Whereas now, you have the authority people come out at the beginning, or the main events come out at the beginning, they talk for 20 minutes, then it's the next segment. Each segment is like so separate. It's like this, then this, then this, then this, and it's so boring to watch.
It is.
Whereas like I was going through old ones on the network, I was going through old Raws, and it was like it was around Christmas time, it might even be the Christmas one, where it was really bad. Like I'm not going to act like it was a good Raw, but every single match ended with Undertaker and Kane just coming out and destroying everyone. And it's like, it shouldn't work because it's boring, and it kind of didn't. And it's like, but like I watch it now and I go, oh my god, why can't they do something that interesting and like different now? Whereas we know exactly what's going to happen on Raw this week. Exactly what's going to happen.
We've been saying this for the 3 hours, isn't it?
3 hours is its biggest problem. Like the quality of writing is its biggest problem, but just reducing it with 2 hours make it more focused.
But I'm not trying to be big headed, but I feel like we could probably write a better show.
Yeah, we could.
Because it's like I
we
don't know what they're tending to right now. I don't know who they think likes what's going on.
And this isn't a dig at the WWE writing staff at all. Like
No,
it
this is a
partially-
complete
No.
dig.
No, it is,
Because
but-
even
but
Cody
it is.
Rhodes left and said,
No,
"Yo,
it is-
these writers need to get their head out
it is
their
to an
asses."
extent. It is to an extent, but like they
It could
work
be worse.
under really
They
bad
could be Impact
situations.
Wrestling.
Like right, there's that for a start. But they work under really difficult circumstances. They've got a madman above them who's like 400 years old and owns the company, but kind of doesn't, and like
Doesn't
owns
want to
and
give
controls
away,
everything and doesn't want to give away anything. So they have to control to his. They have to
Kind
write
of
to
reminds
his,
me of someone.
I know it's a bit like, yeah, but they have to change to his every whim, every last second. So it's really difficult for them. Like if you're a good writer, there might be amazing writers on that team. People who are really smart, who are really into it, know what they're doing, are really good writers, but can't work under the circumstances because there's 15 other writers all doing their own things, all trying to placate Vince McMahon and doing all this other stuff, and you've got people and egos and all this crap going on. Like it's really difficult to write for it. So it's not necessarily a dig at the writing team saying they are bad writers, but the product that they are producing is actively bad. Like completely
I guess
bad.
you know what. In that sense, you're right. You have to blame the people that are saying yes or telling them.
No,
you have to do
there's
this.
so
there's
much-
too many yes men.
There's too many yes men. Vince McMahon has too
CM
much
Punk
control.
and
Too
CM
much
Punk
power.
and CM
Yeah.
Punk pointed that out.
Yeah.
It's like CM Punk. He wanted I know it was a joke, whatever. The ice cream thing, or whatever.
The
Yeah.
ice cream bars.
New Day's getting ice cream bars now. You know what I mean?
It's just there's too many yes men, wrestlers don't have enough control. Some people have too much control. You might have great people working in the system, but the system is broken.
Have you noticed?
The system is broken.
Sorry. Have you not noticed how accurate the Miz and Maurice's argument is against John Cena? I know it's written, but can you see like how he's like you're playing yourselves?
Yeah.
You're writing facts about
what upsets
yourself.
me about the
like
Miz
you're
as well.
ruining yourself.
Every WrestleMania,
a storyline.
Every WrestleMania that he does so good. You love him.
I like Miz.
And the Miz, build up to WrestleMania, he's amazing on the mic and that, and then he just dies again.
I think he should beat John Cena.
Is it his fault? It's not his fault though, is it really?
No, but to a point, I mean, he's had this is his best year he's probably had, possibly in his entire career. Like he has been consistent since the brand split. He's been consistent.
No, WrestleMania 28, he did have a really good run.
Oh, he did, but like
him and John.
I
love that.
I guess I'm being like biased because I know what happens after that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm almost downplaying it a bit. All right, let me put it this way. Since the brand split and just before the brand split, this has been his best run in years. Let's put it that way.
Oh, definitely.
It has been fantastic.
Definitely.
It's not like you say, he does pop up every WrestleMania and do amazingly, but he's been consistent this year. He's been really good, really, really good. But to get back to like the way it's written though, like I guess you're saying like I think you're right. I think 3 hours is one of its biggest problems. It just being 3 hours means they have to fill an extra hour, but they're already so much filler in the show. I think when you reduce it to 2, you focus in and you zero in. That's why NXT was so good for so long. I mean, the performers are great, but they had an hour to tell these stories, and so they told them in smart ways. Like that one time in NXT, and it's something that blew my mind, and it shouldn't because it's such a basic small thing. But I was like, I popped so hard when DIY was celebrating after they won a match, and then the Revive they were getting interviewed by whoever it was, the backstage interviewer, and Revival just came and started beating them up, and I was like, okay, this is typical WWE. And then they just threw them into a door, and then all of a sudden they were in the arena, and all the fans were like, wait, what? And they were looking, and all of a sudden they're just brawling in the arena. Like they went from there to there, and it was this small transition from a backstage interview to the arena. These two entities are so separate now in wrestling, like we spoke about before, backstage brawls and all that. That 1 5-second transition from there to there blew my mind. WWE doesn't do stuff like that anymore. It's all so separated.
It's very separated, and when you think, like you said, NXT, Bo Dallas, right?
What man?
He was amazing in NXT.
Bo Leaf.
He was amazing.
I didn't realise how good he was until I recently went back and saw
NXT.
like,
that ladder match with Neville.
He was the guy.
His last
really
ever.
good.
What was it? The last ever one where he got kicked out.
Yeah, it was his last one. Yeah. It was when
How
he lost
amazing
the
was
title to
he on the mic and everything?
Neville.
The small,
Takeover.
I don't know if it's a small script team there or what.
Yeah.
Is there a small Is it just like 1 or 2? Is it just Triple H and someone else?
It wouldn't surprise me if
Regal.
It wouldn't surprise me if the NXT writing staff went to SmackDown during the draft. Because they write smarter. NXT's been a bit dodgy since the draft because they've been absolutely gutted by the main roster. But like NXT was really small. It was focused. You had TV tapings instead of live shows. So you have like every couple of weeks you film like 3 or 4 weeks television, and then it all leads up to like 4 pay-per-views, and that's it. Yeah. You don't have to have one every 2 weeks. You don't have to keep this.
2-week pay-per-views as well is killing me.
Yeah.
And like you can go entire episodes on NXT where the champions might not be on it.
Exactly.
And that's okay because you have other people having their stories, and everyone's story has a purpose and a meaning and is entertaining.
And going back to WrestleMania quickly as well.
We are on the road to it.
We all know what's going to happen. We know whose contracts are up as well because it comes up. Chris Jericho's contract's up after WrestleMania. He's going to lose.
Yeah.
Goldberg's contract's up after WrestleMania. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Brock's gonna do his 6-month thing or whatever.
Well, like they have in the past had people whose contracts are going up win, and then everyone goes, they're not going to be here next time. The problem is more that they're booking against Brock versus Goldberg. They're 2 part-timers.
Here's what I'm saying for next I'm going to keep on saying. I'm going to say this every episode until WrestleMania. Next WrestleMania 34, right?
Yeah.
I want a card with no part-timers.
I agree.
Yeah. I want a whole card with everyone who's on Raw,
and they
SmackDown,
they have
and
the
even do something like the opening match be the NXT Championship.
They have the.
What's even worse as well? I'm looking forward to the Andre Battle Memorial.
I know.
I think that's going to be
Andre
the best match.
Memorial Battle Royale.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
No worries.
I think that's going to be the best thing there.
Yeah. It's going to be it's unpredictable.
Exactly.
I mean, The Rock's going to come out and do his I swear this one's in Miami. This is Miami.
No, not Orlando, innit?
Oh, it is Orlando. Yeah,
Orlando,
you're right.
But then The Rock's probably gonna come out and do what.
And also,
he has
my
to do.
shit
Stop
coming out
doing
after Mania.
it in the morning time or whatever, when it's light out. Bray Wyatt coming out,
Yeah,
bright lights,
they're big.
when the sun's out.
Another one of these small problems, which just turns into something major, is the fact that they're determined to do them in stadiums, which I get why it earns them
money.
just an unbelievable, an obscene amount of money. It really does. So I get why they want to do it in stadiums with like 60,000 plus people.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I really do get it. I mean, as West Ham fans, we understand why people want to move to bigger stadiums, right?
Yeah.
But like you say, it's not exciting when you see
It's
people
just-
come
I
out
just
in
can't-
the daylight. Do you remember? We both have watched wrestling for goddamn years, and we've watched most of them. You've watched most of the Manias as well. Like
I've
you've
gone
gone back and watched.
back and watched.
Yeah.
Nine is by far probably the worst Mania in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
What's
11.
11's pretty crappy as well. Shout out to Lawrence Taylor, but it's in the daylight.
The whole thing was in daytime.
That was how many years ago? 21?
Yeah.
No, 22. Over 20 years ago, and it's over 2 decades ago. They did it in the daylight, and everyone went, "Oh, that's a bit crap."
Yeah.
So what are they doing now? Let's just do it in the daylight again, guys.
No, I like the idea of like, okay, you start off in the daylight and you transition.
No, but that's
into night.
why
That's
would you
not
put,
necessarily a
why
problem.
would you put Bray Wyatt's match?
Yeah.
And he's trying to use his lantern, and you can't even see the
I
fucking
remember when
lantern.
Sting came out and I was so disappointed.
Yeah, Sting
I
comes
was
out.
so
Sting,
disappointed.
Sting is like, he's mystical, you know, he's the
It-
fucking in
and
the
I-
dark
and
and
I
that. And he
get-
comes out in the daytime.
And it's a bit difficult given the time of year and stuff, but just do it indoors, man.
Yeah.
Just do it indoors.
I'm sure you're going
But
to
this
get
one-
enough money.
Next year's
I'm
gonna
sure
be,
you're going to get enough
Next
money.
year's gonna be indoors. Next year's gonna be indoors.
And last year's was technically
It's
indoors. So it wasn't
it's
too
in
bad.
the Superdome
It
again.
won't, it won't be. It won't be.
Is it in the Superdome again?
Next year's in the Superdome again.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good. At least
So-
that'll be closed up. Or will it?
It will.
It can
It's-
open, can't
Superdome opens?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not 100% certain. I'm not that up on my American.
I really
rules.
hope it rains badly or something. So they.
It's such a dumb risk. It rains.
Yeah, it's just America for you, though.
Can
It
you
never
imagine,
rains,
like,
really, does
can
it?
you
Teach them a lesson,
Can
dog.
you imagine- rethink back to WrestleMania 31. Roman versus Brock. It's all kicking off. Rollins comes sprinting out with the money in the bank to cash in, and then he slips because of the rain. Think about
Breaks
that for a
his
moment.
leg.
Think about that
It's
for a
quite
moment.
dangerous,
And then
actually.
has to get carried off.
Quite dangerous, actually.
It's a weird risk.
But
to
can I
take.
just say, actually, can I just, wait,
It's a weird risk to take, isn't it?
yeah, can I just say that's actually, for the longest time, that's actually the most exciting WrestleMania moment.
Yep.
In a very,
Yeah, that was
Apart from 30 when Brian won.
but the thing is that I wasn't really bothered about it.
Oh, I was.
Because I loved Daniel Bryan, but I wasn't like,
You kind of knew he was going to win it.
that whole thing was
Yeah.
predictable.
Yeah, you knew it
That
was going
whole
to
thing was predictable.
Oh, they had to.
But in a way, it was kind
You know
of
what
good
I
because
thought? You know what I was actually sitting there thinking the other day? I was like, you know what? That would have worked, you know? If they would have made a plot, if they did the plot twist, yeah? Had Batista get thrown out by Roman Reigns, yeah? And then somehow figure their way into Roman Reigns being in the match with Randy and Daniel.
Daniel
But
Bryan.
the problem is, the only thing I thought of that was like, I could have made a dent in that was the Shield was still a faction at the time. And it's like, but then you could have done something with like Batista and Triple H versus the other two members.
Yeah.
And it's like, that would have, like, I would have much preferred that. But it's like, they
You know
the
what they should do as
predictability
well, right?
ruins
Yeah.
it.
This
I re-
whole- yeah, go on.
Sorry. No, I remember when, like, I used to fall in love with things when it just happened. Like when Shawn Michaels returned in 2007 was probably my favorite return of all time.
It was good.
It just happened. There was no Shawn Michaels is coming back in a couple of weeks. Like, no, it was he just
hate
showed.
when they do that.
He just showed up. Boom. You
I
didn't
get-
know he was coming.
I get
he was
again.
there.
I understand their logic of saying, "Oh, the Undertaker's going to be on Raw next
Yeah,
week."
because-
I get why, because then they
want-
get people to
yeah.
tune in. But how? That's really short-term thinking. If you want people to consistently tune in, you surprise them. And so if you just had Undertaker turning up, and
Did
then
you hear?
in a-
Undertaker was there the other night. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then you have, and then next
people
week people
bloody
tune in
watch
to
the
see
show.
what happens,
Yeah.
as opposed to, did you hear the Undertaker's going to be on Raw maybe? And everyone goes, is he going to walk out again? Like it's just like.
It's just
If you want consistent, it's just WWE's consistent boringness is a massive, massive problem in going into Mania. And I guess to finish this off, I guess I would ask. I say we ask this at the end of every panel until Mania at this point. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for Mania?
About 2.
1.
2. I mean, that says it all, really, doesn't it?
It does. And one final question. Would it be good if fans was allowed to send in suggestions to the WWE?
Yeah, but you know how they would crash.
If
You know how many
if
people
they
would
send
do
in suggestions,
it?
all right, well, they had a system or something.
Eagle.
Eagle.
Like an Amazon drone would come into your window and you
Yeah.
give them an envelope, which is like seal crest, and then they fly off.
Would it work?
That was
And then they talk,
overbooked.
and they pick the best ones basically. Obviously, you're
They
gonna
would
get like
never
Mae
be able
Young,
to, they would never be able to read through every single
and there'll be
one.
some Attitude Era ones.
And you know how many? But the thing is, the reason why they wouldn't do that is because you would have too many people.
Well, Twitter.
Talk that
You could
on-
you could even do it through Twitter.
You-
What's that?
you have too many people-
John Laurinaitis.
Yeah, people.
Too many people would want unrealistic stuff. Like, oh my god, SummerSlam, I want all of the Bullet Club to show up. Like, or I want Cody Rhodes to win
Yeah,
the
but they
WWE
obviously
Championship.
they would go. That one's not going to work.
Yeah.
But then that's what I mean.
that's the
They
thing,
would get
and then
too
bring
many
this-
of those.
bring you- and
they
then
would get too many of those.
You feel you're a part of it at least, or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Would it work or not?
Yeah, probably.
To be fair, I don't like. I can't even just like say how I feel about it. Just like, you were good,
Yeah.
and then you went off the rails.
That's what I would
especially
say.
when the brand splitted. It was like no. Sorry, when the brand splitted, SmackDown became the shit, and Raw just sat down somewhere over here.
Shit. Raw was shit. SmackDown was the shit.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way, right? Would that work to an extent? Yes, it would. But it still feels really short term.
It does. It does.
Just
You're
create
right.
a system that doesn't actively work
Yeah.
against exciting television.
I just think you should bloody well read the fans. I mean,
Listen.
This is Mr. McMahon we're talking about. This is the guy who did the Montreal screw job because it benefited him.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you can't just change things at the last minute? If the fans are more tending to this in this direction, why are you gonna go with the original plan that is all the way over there?
You're right.
Just because it's like, oh, it's scheduled to do so, or we want this guy to be, we want to champion this guy. No, because that's not what the fans want. And at the end of the day, you have no money if there's no fans.
Exactly.
And right now, the independent scene is blowing up, and I'm just saying, a lot of fans are jumping ship to like New Japan and Ring of Honor, especially Ring of Honor is blowing up in the past 2 to 3 years. So it's like it's starting to come to a point where the WWE is actually getting competition.
It's good. But let's just end it here. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week with the panel, and we've got some game shows and that coming up.
Yeah, we got loads of stuff coming up. So
Loads of
great.
stuff.
Road to
Thanks again.
WrestleMania.
Road to WrestleMania. Don't forget to follow us on TG Jobbers on Twitter, on Instagram, on the Glorified Jobbers, which he runs. Which I'm noticing he hasn't put anything up yet. Charlie's World. Have you?
About 5 posts.
Oh, well done.
Wow, bear drop in a minute live.
Good. I'll cut it out.
Burying him.
I'll cut it out.
Burying him.
Well, this is what storylines of this. This is what we're doing here.
Shoots.
We make shoots here, but WWE don't listen.
We make shoots.
We make shoots. Anyway, thanks again. We'll be back for more stuff. It's the Road to WrestleMania. Let's enjoy ourselves. We're going to be together, and also I'm quite sad that we're going to be together. And this is going to be a crap WrestleMania.
Yeah, the first one we're all together, it's going to be rubbish.
I know. Take
How
care.
rubbish is that?
Keep on jobbing.